Welcome. Here we are back again at The Catch. I'm Danco McGinley, the host of The Catch. Today I'm going to welcome you to Mr. Adrian Iliescu from GP Tax. Mate, it's a pleasure to have you. Thank you for joining us. How are you? Are you well?
Great. Thank you for having me.
I think we should welcome Adrian. How say you? Should we welcome Adrian?
You have a
Adrian, welcome.
Oh, great.
Welcome. The people love you already. Look at that. How you doing? So you did ask me for a water, so I thought I'd provide you one. Unfortunately, they're not sponsoring it, but Joanna, if you're out there and you feel like it, let us know. So allow me to give you a nice water. Are you thirsty?
Little bit, yeah. You know that beer has one of the purest waters in it because for pH levels and so on.
Really?
Yeah. Because not to spoil the ingredients there, they quite use a very, very pure water on it.
They use very, very high pH levels?
I don't know how high pH, but they study more than the tap water or the water from Bukovina and so on. So we're clear.
Well, they know what's clearly important.
Yeah.
You know? Especially to an accountant, eh? Who's processing all those numbers. There you go, mate. Mate, God bless you. Good to have you. Oh, thank God it's Monday. Thank God it's Monday. So, tell us a little bit about you. You are the CEO, founder of GP Tax. What is GP Tax for the people?
GP Tax is, should I look there or?
You can look anywhere you want.
I'll look at it.
Look at me, mate. That's fine. We're good to go.
You have so many cameras, that's why.
It's hard to believe, you know, just to make sure we get you from the right angle.
So, GP Tax is an accounting company. We have offices in 6 cities. We're quite nationwide, let's say. We have 45 employees.
45 employees?
In all of these cities, because in each city we have an office, and there we have our own employee, our own staff. And we practically offer our services to companies located in those 6 cities, and also companies which are nationwide and want to expand and so on. So practically we went with our clients everywhere they went, in Romania, of course.
Fantastic. So for all the entrepreneurs out there listening and the wannabe entrepreneurs and the newcomers, I think today we might be learning a few tips about some accountability, some accounting that we might just wish we had known at the beginning. No?
I'll try to do my best.
Yeah, mate, I appreciate nothing less. So we've known each other for quite a while, actually, you and I believe. It's been many moons, actually.
I believe, I don't know, 5 or 6 years, something like that.
I think 2016, actually.
2016, even
Have
more.
you called me?
Yep, I remember when I called you. I remember the call. It was on a Friday evening. You had
Friday evening?
Yeah, you have it on our website.
I wasn't in the pub then.
No, you are not. No, you're not. You're not. You had 2 mobile phones on the website. And
2 numbers, you mean?
2 numbers, yeah. 2 numbers there. And I called the first one. Nobody picked up. And then I called you. It was, okay.
What time was it?
It was late. It was like 6:30 in the evening or something like that. So
yeah, we generally close on a Friday a little bit earlier, if I'm honest.
But you responded.
For me, you always answer.
Yeah.
You know?
You responded.
It might be a new client calling, you never know.
Exactly like that. You were in your office then. You were in a different project, if I remember, or selling a project of something that you built.
I had a health and safety company selling PPE equipment, personal protection equipment. Yeah.
Things like that. And we had quite cheers.
You know, can't let it go cold.
So we had quite a half an hour conversation. Discussed of. I found out that you're from New Zealand, and so that you have good rugby things there.
And lots of sheep.
Yeah, lots of sheep and kiwis and so on.
Yeah.
And you told me of an accident that you had, a car accident or something like that, and.
Really?
Yeah. We had. I told you we have something like half an hour.
You remember that? Wow.
Of personal discussion, let's say, until we got to business, and then we book a meeting, and I start to be your client, and I was your client for a lot of time.
Many times.
Yeah.
Even now.
Even now, after so many years. Yeah.
And now I'm your client.
You also my client.
Again.
We had a long relationship. Yeah, 2016 up to now.
It's 9 years.
Yeah. 9 years. Long relationship, and also helped a lot my company to grow and have more clients. And
how did we help your company grow in the end?
In the end, the base of a company growth, new clients, new projects, and
sales. Yeah,
sales, and also improve my sales methods to you and your company and your people that taught me a lot of techniques. And
well, good. So let me ask this: what was your view on sales prior to running into our company? remember you telling me your partner at the time from the bank, one of your partners at the time, I don't know if he's still with you or not, but suggested that you look for a lead generation company or those lines.
Before you, I was thinking that generally sales are coming only by promoting a product or service online, like Facebook or Google AdWords and so on, and clients will come to you. But
how was that working at the time?
not so good. I was calling you, so clearly not
Last
so
resort.
good. Yeah, exactly.
I'll call that guy from New Zealand and see what happens.
I'll try other options because clearly this is not working. I mean,
Last option left.
thing is that you receive some leads and you receive some possible clients, but they are not very well qualified. I mean, they are not qualified at all. Right? And
It's just someone, maybe it's another account, maybe. Yeah.
Exactly. Even though you can work with marketing companies and they do qualification on industry and so on, but they're not the same as a lead generation company brings, because they can bring on a specific industry, specific projects from a specific turnover per year to lower or higher or a specific number of employees. So on the basis of that, I can really go, and I met in this time working with you, companies that I wanted to work with, not companies that...
Yeah, more targeted, let's say.
Yeah, more targeted, companies that I want to work with, not everything that comes from the market, because not everything that comes from a market like on Google AdWords, Facebook, and so on are, as I said, qualified or good to work with. Many type of leads. So.
Okay, cool. But in regards to your general perception, like before you signed up to a lead generation company, what was your general perception of sales? And did it, or if so, how did it change after working with?
Really, I only read 1 or 2 books on sales and some internet tutorials and so on, because really you don't really have a sales academy which is very well established and so on in Romania to go and take some courses. You have some people online which offer some mentorship, and a lot of mentorship people online, they don't really know sales, I mean, they just know the general and theory.
They've just read 3 books instead of 2.
Yeah, theoretical stuff on there. So when I work with you guys, clearly you were doing that on a practical basis. I mean, not just theory. Okay, you gave me the theoretical part, and then you put in practice and show me also the practice. So that helped a lot, because it's different from reading a book or watching a podcast or hearing someone how to do sales, and you do it in your business, in your line of work, and in your...
You come in and show you first.
Yeah, that's quite different. And also, each of us have different industry, because, for example, I'm in accounting, which is very specific. And what I liked about you guys and your company is that you went and dive into it and wanted to know best what we are doing and how we are offering our services, what we do with our clients, and you went to that.
He's doing a great job of promoting me, isn't he?
This is what happened, really.
I was just wanting to know what your perception of sales was.
This is what happened.
Thank you, mate.
No. The fact is that when you've done that in-depth study on that specific business, you know how to help them to sell it. Because if you don't do that, you are just reading books and watching some podcasts and movies and so on. We are not just doing on that.
And that's the funny part for me, is that you're not just an accountant either. I mean, aside from the fact that you're a CEO, you run your own business, have, 6, 7 offices around the country, apart from that. But actually what you are is a bona fide salesman.
Thank you.
Well, technically that's true, no?
It is. I like to do sales. I love to do sales. I mean, I would prefer going to 5 or 6 meetings than...
and sitting down, filling out a ledger.
Sitting down, filling a ledger, yeah. I mean, I have people doing that, so I prefer doing sales.
Yeah. And you've done your time filling out a few ledgers, I'm sure.
I've done a lot of ledgers in my time, indeed until I got to that point in which I said, okay, when you stay in the office and filling in ledgers, clients are not knocking on doors. They will knock from recommendations and so on, but how many they will knock? Maybe 1 at each 2-3 months. When doing your own sales, you will bring 2 or 3 or 5 or 10, depending on how many sales, how many meetings you have per month, which is quite a different topic. You can grow from 0 to 1 or 2 million euros in a couple of years. That's the difference. And that in a
from actually going out and chasing clients versus waiting for someone to come knocking on the door.
Yeah. I mean,
talking to your mates. Anyone? Do you know anyone? Yeah.
In my type of business in accounting, this industry, generally the accountants, they don't go after clients. They just stay in their office, filling out ledgers, and they wait. And they have 1 or 2 recommendations, and that's it. And they remain on that lower age, lower part of
the lower end of the scale.
Yeah, exactly. You have something like 20 or let's say 30 accounting companies in Romania, big ones. We are also with them.
So you're in the top 20?
Yeah, we are.
In terms of size, money, what?
Exactly, in terms of turnover, in terms of clients, in terms of employees, and so on, and also being in so many cities. So apart from those, the rest are local based and are those type of accounting companies, in which they have a certified accountant which doesn't chase or doesn't look after clients. They just stay in their office and that's it. And they're very happy. They are not doing an entrepreneurship and business activity. They are making,
which is strange considering that they all actually own a business.
Yeah, they are doing like a salary. That's it. I mean, I have 10 clients. I'm working those 10 clients, and that's it. And each month I get each quarter I get dividends, like a salary, let's say, for during 1 year, and that's it. I'm
for a couple of grand a month, and that's about the end of it.
I'm happy with it. I get 2, 3, or 4,000 euros per month, and I'm happy with that. And I will live as long as those clients live. For example, we treat as a business. We made it as a business. We have many partners in our business, all the investors that came. So because of that, we treat it as a business. We look on our clients, how they grow, how they decrease. We increase honoraries, we decrease honoraries. We see them transactionally. We don't really see them as, we don't get with our clients, we have 10 and that's it, or we have 5 or that's it. No, we look on them and how they grow or how they decrease, how to help them, how us to be better for them, or at a specific point where they, for example, get so low or want to close, we help them close. I mean, we got in a position in which, for example, if a company is not doing well, we prefer them to help them close it than not doing nothing. Yeah, really, I mean,
let me help you shut your business. I'm a great accountant.
I explained to them. Some of them, for example, have 4 or 5 or 6 companies. 6 companies. Only 2 are really making money, and so the other 4 are not. And we come to this, don't keep those 4 because those 4 are doing nothing. You just pay us, pay a virtual headquarters or something like that, and you have some expenses each month doing nothing. I prefer companies doing something, growing, because they can also have...
What do you do with those expenses, though? Does that mean those expenses will still exist, even if that company's not really trading, right?
Yes, exactly. You'll have those expenses on a monthly basis. And to be honest...
But they still have them. So if you shut one of those companies, those monthly expenses are generally still occurring?
Just closing.
Cancelling them all together?
You're closing the company, that's it.
Why do you think these entrepreneurs are running these additional businesses and having these expenses just on the side?
Well, some of them just forget about it. When I had clients,
Must be great, huh?
Yeah, not great because, as I told you...
well, in the end, no.
I'm coming back to the portfolio type of clients. We prefer clients growing and having more activity, not clients dying or being on a zero. Because I cannot come to you and say, look, I have a great company with great clients, and let's say 80% of them are zero. Because you will not come to me, clearly. I'm not doing a great job. So I prefer, let's close those which are not doing money and concentrate on those doing money and help you do money, not have 100 companies and keeping them on zero. Not helping you at all, just making costs.
There was something that you helped me with many moons ago, actually, and when it came to financial forecasting, which helped me a lot in regards of how to structure the financial forecast.
When you're saying profit-based practically.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And this, I think this actually determines for an entrepreneur exactly how to maybe go about setting your own expectations, financial expectations, and what you actually aim to earn, out of the company, but, as a net profit margin. So you're the accountant. Remind me of how it goes.
Yeah, a lot of people...
There'll be people watching that will actually, hopefully benefit from this, business owners, entrepreneurs, aspiring entrepreneurs.
A lot of entrepreneurs or aspiring entrepreneurs or people having a business, they look on income. They have, let's say, a monthly income of specific amount, let's say 100,000 euros, for example. And then they put the cost minus, let's say, 80,000 or 90,000 euros cost. And then you have a profit of 10,000 or 20,000 euros profit per month, if you get that. But in my opinion, that's wrong how to look at it. Because you have an income and then you think, what is your profit that you want to have? How much money you want to have from that business? And for example, you say, okay, I want 20%. Okay, great. So you have 100,000 euros per month, let's say. 20,000 euros. It's your profit.
Minus your net profit.
Exactly. So you make income minus your net profit, and then you have the basket of expenses. So those are the maximum of expenses of cost that you can have per month. If it's more, then you don't have the money. It's clearly,
most people do it the other way around. Let's take the revenue generated by the organization, then the list of expenses or the operational expenses, the salaries, taxes, etc. And then they go, let's see what's left.
What's left?
Let's see what's left.
That's the issue. That's the issue.
Rather than actually planning, right, well, so I actually want to make 100 grand net a month. So how much do I actually need to sell in order to get the net profit? Because the taxes and all the expenses are going to cost me, I don't know, 50 grand, 60 grand. So I need to make sure that I'm generating 350K a month in order to get that 100 grand net in the hand, minus all those expenses, etc. No?
Yeah. This is like very old.
Why doesn't, it's very old?
Yeah, it's a book. I recommend it to read. Wealthiest Man in Babylon from then. And there are some short tales there.
Wealthiest Man in Babylon.
Yes, exactly.
You know who wrote it?
You can just Google that and you find it very fast, very fast.
Been a while since you read it.
Yeah. And there are some short tales there. And practically a basis of it is that when you are making business, the first money that comes in the company, 10% or 20%, depending how much you want to do, you just take it there and put it in your pocket. This is what they learn there. Because when you do that, you are being paid first. When you are being paid first, you know what you are working for. You know what you want to grow. You are not looking at the company just like a salary. You are looking at a company as a growth, as something to aspire and have more. Why
don't they teach you this in business school here in Romania? For example, at ASE, the faculty here in Bucharest of business administration. Why don't they teach you things like that? Because there, they don't teach you that.
They don't teach you that because...
they don't teach you much, yeah?
They don't teach you much.
You want to say it, he's afraid to say it, but...
No, I don't have. I mean...
Have that, and then it'll be easier to say. It's okay, it makes sense.
I don't know the curriculum of it, but clearly... they teach you a specific amount of things for you to establish something, and then you start knocking your head on things, you know?
Banging your head against a brick wall.
I mean, at the very end, you know, look on the statistics. There are 100 people, let's say, starting a business, and 90 of them fail. You have only with 10.
Yeah, statistically, I think the number is that 80% of all new businesses fail in the first 12 months. And by the end of the first 2 years, the total number of businesses that were opened totals at 96%. So from 100 businesses that opened, there are 4 left standing after 24 months.
See?
That's ridiculous.
Why
That's scary, huh?
Yeah, but why for them to learn how to do a great business when you can go to the whole thing and establish a business which a lot of cost and a lot of expenses, taxes to pay, you to take credits and loans from banks and so on, and then get into bankruptcy and liquidation and so on. It's a whole, if you think about it, it's a lot of people around the business. So even though the business is failing or not, there are a lot of people generating costs for that business, from accountants to salespersons to lawyers and so on. So why to come to you at the beginning and say, hey, establish a business when you know what to establish, when you have everything done? Because in general, not just in Romania, everywhere, a lot of people start a business. I see
with an idea and...
Just idea. They don't have a business plan. They don't have an angle. They don't know where they are going a business with at a specific point. I met a lot of entrepreneurs, meeting a lot of possible clients in so many years in meetings, and a lot of them didn't have a business plan. They got to 1 or 2 or 3 million or even more euros per year without a specific business plan. They just got lucky, got some projects and so on. That was all, but they didn't knew from that point on. They got to a point, a maximum point. No, even good projects, and they stopped there. They got to a project because I asked them, okay, so from now on, what's your perspective? I don't have. I got to here because I was lucky, and that's it. I don't know what to do more.
It cost them 2.5 million to generate the 3 million anyway.
Or as I said,
even more.
Or even lucky because they got in a niche, and they could do a specific thing there in that niche, and they got to there, but they
did it once and that was it.
Yeah, exactly. They don't know what to do more on that. And when you ask them, okay, you have a forecast, you want to, I don't know, to list it on the stock exchange, you want to sell it, you want to...
Where do you want to go from here? Yeah.
And they were, wow, so many good ideas. Those are not ideas, there are general things of a business. You get it to a scale, and then you make
duplicate it.
Exactly, make the
wash, rinse,
step.
repeat.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and away you go.
You stop there and say, okay, no. And generally, when I saw that, I was discussing with them and I said, you have so great ideas, you should help me. Okay, I will, but you should know what you want to do with your business.
Where do you want it to go next?
Exactly, clear.
Tell me this, you married?
Yeah, married and have a daughter, yeah.
Married, you have a daughter? How are the finances in the house structured? How do you structure your finances in the house?
In the house.
You make it, she spends it?
No, we are both entrepreneurs. Yeah.
Fantastic.
And generally, when either the husband, either
It wasn't meant to be that sexist. It might have come across that way.
in general, when both of the partners are entrepreneurs, it's better and steadier marriage than when just one of them is entrepreneur and one of them is employed. And that is because I was entrepreneur before my wife, and I saw that when a person is employed, they don't know the struggle and what's going to the head of entrepreneur and why they have to work more, come late, or weekends and so on.
For years.
Exactly. And just hope at a specific point they'll get, because they want to get that.
They want to get to that point where others can come in and do the hard work or the harder jobs, the more tedious work.
So I helped my wife to establish her own company and establish her own business and have her own employees and have the whole headache of an entrepreneur,
Yeah. I love you. Here, take this.
Yeah. I love you.
Now you know what I'm suffering with. Stop complaining at me.
Exactly that. Exactly
like that. So, that's motivation to have another business in your family right there.
And you
keep the family together, no?
So it's quite nice because when we are in the evening and we have a dinner with the whole family, me and my wife and the kid, it's quite nice because nobody is complaining of nothing. My wife, we've discussed of our business after dinner, and sometimes I help her with some ideas and so on. Also, I discuss with her my business, and she comes with a different perspective and so on. But as I said, these are general topics which help us, because if she will be employed to a specific company, she will not have the whole idea of a business.
Real scope.
Yeah, exactly.
The pain that we go through.
It's quite easier for me to say, okay, I have to work until 8 or 9 because I have to do these things. Not try to explain that, I have to own a business.
Why do you have to do this?
Yeah, she knows. She knows very well.
Yeah, I remember going through that myself when I was married. I remember the same kind of thing, wanting to leave the house at, 8 o'clock and Saturday morning, drive into town and sit in the office, but why? Why can't you just stay home? I mean, can't you do anything? I need to go to the office. I have to be there. Sorry.
For a happy marriage, that will be my advice,
Yes.
You are an entrepreneur.
entrepreneur.
Doesn't matter.
Open a business for her so she can suffer with me.
Yep. Be in the same pot, in the same bucket.
Nice. And you said you have a daughter, you said?
Yes, I have a 4-year-old daughter. She's in kindergarten. And...
Best time.
Yeah, best time when we are watching movies together and nice cartoons like from Disney and Marvel, whatever they are putting now. And quite interesting stuff. Did you know that Bambi is a boy, she's a boy, or he's a boy?
Well, I know it's 2024, but the way you've just explained that, Isn't this film from the 40s, the 1940s?
Yeah. The movie is quite old. It's from 1942. So like
1942, I was close.
Very, very old movie. And I look it with my daughter, and I saw it. Bambi is a boy.
Bambi is a boy.
Yeah, I was amazed also. Even in the movie, they make fun of.
Bambi's a boy. Bambi has always been a girl.
Even in the movie, they make fun of him, her. Listen, I don't know how to put it.
Which is it, right?
Yeah, because
Bambi, a boy.
You have a girl's name, but he's a boy.
Oh my God, you're right.
Yep, he's a boy.
And it's funny because it says gender male.
Yep.
Of which there are how many?
No, 2.
There's 2 genders?
I think so.
You think so? What do you think about all this controversy around the multitude of different...
I respect everyone, that's clear. But, pick a side. To be easier.
pick a side.
To be easier to know what...
It's pretty simple. It's one
pick a side.
or the other.
Yeah, you can choose. Medicine right now went so far that you can pick a side and put back and so on. Take and put back on your gender, whatever. So, but at least pick a side so it's easier for everyone to know with whom they are discussing,
What about all these pronouns that we're addressing? I'll give you an example. So the actually living in Romania is not really so predominant yet anyway, and God forbid it doesn't become that way, in my view. Just keep things simple, like you say, pick a side. But I had to renew my driver's license, the plastic card. I lost it. It went missing, somewhere. And so I replaced it, and I wrote back to Vehicle Inspection New Zealand, whatever, the DMV, if you want to call it that, to replace my driver's license. And I get the reply back from some woman, and I don't know who she is or whatever, but she, helped me through the process, whatever. And it said, in her email signature from a government institution in New Zealand, and it said, she, her, right next to her name. So had her title, whatever her job title, her name, and then in brackets next to her name, she/her, which technically makes her normal. Technically, no. I mean, if she's a she, I mean, she's a she, no?
It's clear, yeah.
And you refer to her as, well, her, no?
I believe this. I know. I'm not. I don't really care. She, he, they. I mean, I respect all the people.
What about the language? What about the language? So, I mean,
That's the thing. I mean,
how can you call one person they?
we are going too much into that. I mean, okay.
far.
Yeah, exactly. You want me to respect your rights? I respect your rights. That's it. I stop there. You don't need to explain more. I'm a she or a he or a they. Okay, thank you. That's it. I understand. I can listen to you. I can drink a beer with you. I discuss with you. That's it. You don't have to make a whole story about that
Your
specific
shoes.
pronouns and so on. Yeah, it's like, nothing to do. I mean, I have a lot of friends which are vegans or vegetarians, but they don't speak all the time that they're vegetarians. I'm a vegan. I'm a vegan. Okay, great for you.
You just don't eat out with them.
Yeah, I mean, I eat out with
You
them.
just never take them anywhere.
I do barbecues with them, and I
They
just
do barbecues with the
and I
vegans,
put
yeah?
just eggplant
And the
there, and
vegetarians,
and I put some pumpkins there, and that's it.
Vinete pe grătar. Yeah, fantastic.
Zucchini, and that's it.
Okay. So today we're serving potatoes and tomatoes.
Really, I have no issues. But and then don't start saying, I'm a vegetarian. You should be a vegetarian. It's the same here. I'm a they or a him or he. You should do the same. No, your belief is that. My belief is that. We should respect each other, and that's it. That's where we stop. Not going more to that. Same with vegetarians. I'm a vegetarian. Great for you. I don't want me to be converting vegetarian, so I'm not converting you in a meat lover. We're just respecting each other, and they're what we choose to do.
You experience this in the workplace. I mean, you've got a reasonable number of employees.
Not really. Not really.
Mainly accountants are quite strict.
Usually accountants. Accountants have a profile. They are women. They are women. I believe.
Where did you go wrong?
Yeah.
Didn't want to ever become, I don't know, a policeman, a fireman, something of that stage,
To be honest, in my company, I believe I'm the only man. Oh no, I have another one.
In the whole company?
In the whole company, I have another one, a student who goes and picks up things or submit things. But apart from him and me, we are just the only ones. The rest are just women. And
Must be horrible, eh?
you get used to it. I mean, I got to the position in which, whenever I was joking with my wife and I was paying, I told her when I have payday salaries, I tell her, look.
Half payday?
No, when I have payday salaries.
On payday,
I tell her, look, all of the money, of my money went on women. We're joking on that because I pay all of the women, all of the salaries. I only pay with.
Sure, she loves you in that joke.
And back home I have a wife, so I have
and back home I also
have a daughter,
wife.
so I just spend money on women. That's it.
They just cost, though.
Yep.
Can't avoid it no matter which way you turn. Huh?
Truth be told.
Speaking of avoidance, what's the difference between tax evasion and tax avoidance? Because I'm assuming most people actually don't know.
On one of them you can go to prison.
Okay, and which one?
In tax evasion.
So what's the difference between the two? Make it clear for us.
On tax evasion, you generally hide your incomes, which no government likes for you not to declare your incomes. On tax avoidance, you either use some tax paradises of heaven or shelters where you can have some deductible expenses for them. So practically, you create deductible expenses on that.
Can you give an example?
A lot of deductible expenses like consultancy fees or management fees, or you just, for example, move your business to a lower tax country.
Cyprus, the Cayman Islands.
Cyprus, Ireland, or so on. So that's mostly going on tax avoidance. Because what we're trying to do is pay less on your declared income. On the other way, on tax evasion, you don't declare income. So the most asked question on any any accountant from his client or her
How do I avoid paying so much tax?
Yes, exactly. That's it. And everybody, they come to you and the first question is, how can I pay less? Or how can I pay nothing, if possible?
Nothing is more or less impossible.
When they say nothing, is
like,
without going to jail or with going to jail. Because if it's going to jail, that's clearly easy. If it's...
if you just don't declare anything, and
exactly.
At some point they're going to catch up with you.
Very fast. They can catch you very fast. So...
you should invite some of them here for the catch. Make it clear.
In my opinion, you should not try to go to that specific point in which you hope not to be catched, because they will catch you. I mean,
They always catch you.
yes, it's hundreds of years of the fiscal authorities in all of the countries where they got better and better and better, because
Year in, year out, year in,
on
year.
each tax evasion, tax avoidance, they learn something, and they made stronger laws, stronger requirements, better people to make controls and so on. So at the very end, they will catch you. It's just a thing of time, nothing more.
Avoidance is the way.
Avoidance,
Not evasion.
avoidance.
Here's to the avoidance, mate. God bless. Look, in all fairness, I think that was probably the first question I asked you too, you know.
Everybody asks the same.
Yeah.
It's
It's not that we, you know, I definitely don't want to go to prison, that's for sure, but, you know, and don't want to not declare income that we generate because, you know, fair's fair. You know, we all got to pay our way. You know, so I guess it's one of the other, what do they say then, the two guarantees in life, you know.
tax and debt.
Taxes, exactly. There's no real way to completely evade it. I mean, without the risk of prison.
And it's normal to be like that, because at the very end, you are expecting for roads, public illumination, healthcare, education, specific things from around you. So if you're expecting those things to be free or to be there, sure you have to pay for them
at some point.
Yeah,
they're going to need money from somewhere,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Well,
exactly.
yeah. So okay, so that's an interesting point actually that you've made. Taxes, roads, etc. You know, infrastructure, this kind of thing. So how do you think the Romanian state have managed to benefit, you know, people from their tax dollars?
Benefit of the taxpayers?
Yeah, are the taxpayers benefiting for real? Are they really benefiting?
Not really. I mean, let's say I will say that we are 50-60% of what we pay, we are actually benefiting, because
60%.
in my opinion, yeah, only half you would benefit. They are making roads, but they are not making so many roads as we should have. You know, taking in consideration the
They're
amount
definitely
of taxes
better than
that
20 years ago, that's for sure, black and white.
Yeah,
Yeah.
clear.
Actually, a lot of the roads now are better than a lot of them in the UK. I just spent Christmas in the UK, and I drove maybe a total of about 10 hours while I was there. And actually driving all the way to Constanza, you know, is much better. Much better. Even the drive up to Brahma Valley and, you know, all the way up to Brasov, etc. And whilst the traffic is horrible, you know, that's with the infrastructure. That must be the other 50%. Hey, the infrastructure there. The best way to go up there is on a motorbike, that's for sure. But, I mean, 50-60%?
All approximately like that, yeah. Because at the very end, you don't really have a clear network of roads. I'm traveling a lot, having 6 offices in 6 cities. I really travel a lot, either by plane, either by car. And when I travel by car, I really see it, and I really see the lack of infrastructure. We don't really have so many highways as we should. Look on the grid of networks of highways in Germany or in Slovakia or in Slovenia and compare it to us. You know, we are not there yet.
No, their infrastructure is more defined, let's say, than yours.
Yeah, also from the perspective of airports. Look at our airports. Our airports are very small and cramped. Look on airports from other Western countries, which look very nice and big airports. You know, look on the airport of, let's say, Timișoara. Small airport. Okay, now they are making it better. Yeah, but it's quite a small airport there.
Yeah. Maybe not so, I mean, also probably from local or domestic.
Yeah, they also have some international flights. Yeah, so that you can travel.
People flying into Timișoara?
From Timișoara.
A little bit industrial, no?
Still industrial, but started to fall under like other cities which are quite galloping from economic point of view, like look, Bucharest, Cluj. Also, yeah, she's coming back very, very fast. I mean, a lot of investments are there. A lot of foreign companies coming there because level of English here in Romania is quite great.
Very high.
I believe you don't really need to learn Romanian. You can go anywhere and people will understand.
You can go anywhere. Actually, you know, every time I go out somewhere, you know, I speak moderately well Romanian, let's say, I think. And, you know, so I'll try and, you know, discuss with the people, even if it's something just as simple as ordering dinner, you know. And the waiters will just go, look, let's just speak English, eh? You know, it's like, oh, God. You know? And then they say to you, why don't you speak Romanian?
I believe like German do the same way. You know, when you try to speak to a German in his language, and he clearly sees that you don't speak German. Let's switch to English. And also so that with Dutch people, same. It's very hard to learn Dutch, but if you just try 1 or 2 words, okay.
They appreciate you.
They appreciate you. Very nice. Switch it to English because...
Yeah, we don't all want to struggle, really, do we? I guess I'll face that a little bit myself. What do you want me to do? Yeah. Apparently the phone is vibrating too much. There we go. Okay, so let's talk about communication when it comes to being an accountant. How do your customers communicate with you? That's a bit of a vague question.
That's a vague question, but generally I push my clients to communicate more with their designated accountants and also with me, of course. I tell them, look, I offer from my contacts, I offer them possibility to have each month either an online meeting, either a physical meeting at any of our offices with their designated accountant. Or
physical meeting once a month, or online,
to discuss any topics from their accountancy and also things that like fiscal change and so on. We also send a lot of newsletter. I don't know how many people are reading. Some of them,
I guess it's look, I mean, I get them myself too, you know.
Struggle them to make it on bullet points, to be so easy, to be like,
because
this amount of reading.
The theme is like blah, blah, blah.
That's why
government changing the law again to benefit themselves, you know. And then you talk to your accountant, you say, listen, tell me just exactly what I need to know and nothing else. You know, like okay, they're changing dividends tax 8%. Okay, now it's 10 or whatever, no?
So that's the reason that we put that, you know. And that's the reason that we try to bring our clients and communicate with the accountant because, you know, many companies here in Romania, the relationship between the client and the accountant are like husband and wife married for 40 years, which sleep on the same bed, but back to back, you know.
What an analogy. What an analogy. Fantastic.
That's the level of communication they have. Like,
yeah, the accountant's in the corner. I pay the bill. I send a bunga with all the receipts and just leave it there like it's 1985.
Exactly. And the accountant comes back and says, "This is your tax to be paid. Thank you so much. I'm waiting for that." And that's it. That's not the level of communication. That's not how you help a client. That's not how you.
No, that's just processing data.
Yeah,
all that is.
We know our clients when they are doing well, when they are doing bad, because we discuss with them and they tell us, like, look, I lost some projects, some clients. It will be very bad for me from now on. Let's renegotiate on minus. Or I'm doing well. I renegotiate. I have bigger clients. I have to make
more
space, let's say warehouse space or office space and so on. And I will need more from you, more services. But to get to that, you have to discuss with that person, at least half an hour per month. I tell them exactly from the sales when I do it, please come to our office or do it online or ask to come to you, whatever you want. Half an hour of your time will be beneficial for both of us. We will better understand what you are doing now and in the future, and you will also understand what your accountant or HR inspector
has been doing,
and also what she
should be doing,
and so on. Yeah. I mean, without that, as I told you, it's a marriage of 40 years and
back to back, sleeping in separate beds, even,
or even so. Even so. Yeah.
I remember when we first met. Actually, it was actually one of my suppliers, that said to me, and this was, it's not that I hadn't that much experience necessarily, but like most of probably your customers then and maybe even now, you consider the accounting company as like secondary. It's like, they're over there kind of, whereas after working with you, it became very apparent how important it is. Not as important as the salespeople. The salespeople got to come first. I still love you, mate. I know you're an accountant. It's not your fault.
Unfortunately, yeah, a lot of companies are treating the accounting company or the accountant like that, even though, the accountant knows a lot about you. And the accountant can know anything about you or your company.
What is it? Be a little specific. That sounds a bit like he would know anything about you. It's like he's been stalking you.
No, but look, you bring a lot of documents.
Considering switching company all of a sudden.
They can know, for example, just an example, like a person or a client, we can know if that client has a mistress.
So you know if one of your clients is cheating on their wife.
Yeah. You can see
Fantastic.
that very easily through the.
So any of you young ladies watching this, you know, I think you're about to enjoy what's about to come. Like, what does that mean? Walk me through that.
Easy. It's easy. Like you can, you receive the fiscal receipts and fiscal invoices from that client each month, and you can look if he had some accommodation to specific hotels in specific areas. When he put fuel in his car at the specific hours in the night or in the evening or in the morning or whatever, and so on. And because of that, you can make a track record if you really want, and you can see easier.
You can road map where she lives, the rough area.
Rough area.
Basically where she's working.
Yeah, exactly. Where they meet, when they meet, and so on. I mean, that's the level of information that you can get from a client, you being his accountant, because you get all of those documents. And sometimes, because the entrepreneur also brings a bag of documents or send them, he doesn't really look, and there are receipts of food or receipts of ice creams and so on, and you can look at it, like 2 ice creams in
the park.
Yeah, exactly. In a Thursday
at 9:30 in the evening.
In the evening, what's that? I mean,
yeah, guy's married but with no children. It can't be. Yeah. God forbid he was taking his wife out for ice cream.
If his wife there in that company is also working on that company, and on the specific date, his wife has a plane ticket to another country, it's clearly right there.
And have you seen that firsthand? Yeah,
you can see that very easy.
Really?
Yeah, you can. You know, it's very interesting because when you do accounting, you can see even same suppliers have different pricing for clients. You know, I mean.
Same supplier has different pricing for clients. You mean one client he charges X and another client he charges Y?
Different prices on the same type of product, on the same type of service. And they do that because those people didn't really negotiate it and didn't really took the contract to take it lower as a cost and so on. And they took the first price, for example. You know, and because of that, you can watch. Doesn't matter. If we are talking of water or of copiers or like printers and so on, doesn't matter that. But they have different pricing. You see that same company, because you see it at different clients, the same supplier, but having more to one, less to one, not being, for example, one has more consumption of paper or more consumption of water. Just like that, same consumption but different prices. You can see that. A lot of things you can see as an accountant that people outside this job don't really see it and don't really have access to it.
Well, I guess there's benefits to any industry, eh? But we're catching people out left, right, and centre. You should be hosting the podcast. You're catching them all out. Have you ever been approached by someone's wife or anything like that?
No.
Like that.
Not really. And to be honest, at the very end, which
you belong to the club.
Our client, we have confidentiality agreement. So right there, if any wife would approach, I don't know, man.
So ladies, you're going to have to figure out how to be a decent accountant on your own.
Yeah.
Would you recommend it to the user today? I mean, you know, how do you find? I mean, accountancy historically is, you know, I guess to a serious entrepreneur, they can really appreciate the value of, you know, what a good accounting company can do for you. Most people consider that to be quite a boring industry kind of thing, you know. It kind of, no, you don't find that. I mean, what about the youth of today? Are they applying? Are they young, a new fresh load of, you know, accountants coming onto the market, or
not?
They're less and less people.
Not so many, I would say, because you know, you right now are staying mostly on social media, and they are watching how to get rich very fast. Those things.
Yeah, you can make 10 grand a month if you just do these 5 things.
Exactly. Do drop shipping or whatever, things like that. You're right there.
Yeah, print t-shirts, you don't even touch the t-shirt.
Yeah, things like that. And right there, they don't really want to work, or they start working at a higher age. I saw more and more people starting their first job effectively at 25 or 26.
Carry on. I want to touch on that.
Which, in my opinion, that's an issue, because you should, if possible, work from faculty or from university, because it will help you and you will develop better.
I'm going to have to disagree with you there. I think they should work from an even younger age. As teenagers, you should be jumping into the workforce. I know here in Romania, the legal age is 18. You can't legally work unless your parents,
I believe you can,
sign a declaration to say, hey, okay. Yeah, I think 16 is, fair enough, you know, child labour and all that. You know? But
don't want the Victorian age.
not if we can avoid it.
Yeah.
But I think it's late in the game
It is.
to be starting work, when you're exiting university. So, I mean, you're already, you've passed, your teens are gone, and you're a quarter of your 20s that are over, and for me, your 20s are where you should be gaining your skill. Your 20s,
And your network.
And your network. Yes, I agree. And your network. And in your 30s, you've got to hone that skill, So become an expert in what you're doing. Yeah? Agree?
I totally agree on that because those are the years when you are very enthusiastic of everything.
You've got all the energy, you've got all the vibe, you've got the passion, the enthusiasm, the get up and go.
You don't know nothing.
That's not true. I knew way more when I was 18 than I know now. Didn't you?
Professionally speaking.
Professionally speaking, you know nothing at 18 for sure.
And you are ready to jump in any project and anything, and you are very happy to just be part of it.
I've got to edge him on because otherwise he's leaving me by myself, down the hash, big boy. Really left me on my own here.
I'm an accountant.
Boring accountants. You're living up to the brand.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. Carry on.
So that's what I'm saying. I mean, you have the enthusiasm. You are ready to put head first in anything and to be in any project and to work as much as you can and just to learn and just to be there. You don't have wife, kids, and so on pulling you and
real responsibilities, holding you down.
You just want to do more, and that's the age where you should do that. You should want to do more and be more implicated in it, because if you do that, it will define the rest of your life. I mean, I was doing 2 faculties at once and also working. I was.
How old were you?
33.
How old were you then? I mean, I was thinking you look 43, but
19.
33 is good to know.
19, yeah. I was 19 and I was juggling between 2 faculties and also working.
What were you doing? What was your job? I'm curious.
Primary accountant, of course.
Well, and where are you from?
From Bucharest.
From Bucharest, eh?
I didn't really need the job. I mean, I could have stayed home with my parents.
I'm going to open this one for you. Ready?
I could have stayed home. I didn't really need to do that. But I wanted to do that because I learned more things that you learn from the theoretical basis in faculty. I met a lot of people and done a better network. So when I got to an age of, let's say, 24 or 25, already I had 5 or 6 years of experience working on that field. I was knowing a lot, and people were approaching me and wanted to give me other projects or to get me implicated in other things.
You were well and truly ahead of basically anyone that would have been exiting university, because as an accountant, that takes you how long? 4 years?
An accountant, it takes you like 3 years. Also, if you want to be a certified accountant, you will also do another 3 years of like the bar, like a stage, certified accountants body.
Become a chartered accountant.
Become a chartered accountant, exactly. So you need another 3 of those. So you do 3 years of faculty, another 3 years of chartered accountant body, and all of those exams, and then you'll become a certified accountant. But if you work on those and that whole time, after 6 years, you will be a great accountant right there, because you will see a lot of things, you'll meet a lot of people, you already will know. When you look on a trial balance, each trial balance, when you look at it, tells a story. And when you look at a trial balance, you can see a lot of things there. And you can know the company, how it's doing right there. It's like you're a doctor of trial balances, let's say. Yeah. I don't know if it doesn't, for me it sounds very nice, but trial balance.
I'm also a doctor, that's right. Yeah.
You see a trial balance, you see a lot of numbers and a lot of accounts. But those accounts and those numbers tell a story of that company up to then. And trial balance has a lot of information right there. From historically, current, you can really, from that point, know how healthy is a company.
In Romania, for the 20-odd years I've been living here, what I've gathered is why people start later in life, in terms of employment or work. They start later because, I guess it's a little bit like starting school later than in the West. No. You need to enjoy your youth. This is what they say, that you need to enjoy your youth. No, don't worry about it later. Worry about it later. Start when you're in your mid-20s. Whereas if you've actually got that, 7, 8, 9 year, whatever it is, experience right up until your mid, then you're going to be in a position that when you're 45, 50, you can consider taking a step back. Yeah. Because you've gained the experience at the other end. You've actually had all the energy. Instead of still trying to, finalize that final bit of experience that you require possibly later on in life. Or have less time to perfect it. You're starting it later. If you start at 25, then you've got 25 to 35. There's your 10-year window to learn it all. By then you're 35, you probably get looking at marriage, or if not married already, kids on the way already. And then you're thinking, oh, no, it's just easy being.
Yeah, I mean, I learned that from myself. My father, he's still a mechanic, car mechanic. And when I was younger, not for me to just play football all day in the summertime, he was taking me at his service. And I was working there on cars, like mostly cleaning parts of the engines and so on. But those start for me to know the value of money, the value of work, and so on. So if you do that from 14, 15, 16 years old, and you do that, you already know what to expect from life, how to make better things.
Make better decisions.
Yeah, for example, my little one, I take her with me, and even I take her with me in different cities when I travel, if possible, with my wife. Yeah, not sure. This is the office we have in Cluj, or the office we have in Oradea. Here we have employees. These employees have clients and so on. And I try to explain as simple as possible for her to understand, and she knows that 4 years old what an employee is. Why you fire an employee, why you hire an employee, what projects are. Yeah.
You're teaching her right from the get-go, eh?
You should.
Are you firing a lot of people, mate?
If not really.
Good.
If you have a child, you should do that.
What? Teach them how to fire people?
No.
One day you're going to become an entrepreneur, so you need to learn how to fire someone.
Entrepreneur things. You should teach them. You should teach them because, when you expose them to that environment, when they get older, you will practically bring leaders up. You will not just bring people up or just bring human beings up. You will bring leaders because they will know what means to have X or Y number of people working for you or working with you practically. And things like that. You bring up a leader and they know better. And
raising a leader.
Yeah, raising a leader. Yeah, that's the word for it. I mean, and they will have a fantastic life from that. Because they are exposed from 4 or 5 years old until they get to 20 something. They already know how the whole system is.
Yeah, and they're hop, skip, and a jump ahead of their colleagues who are still in faculty with 2 years to go before thinking about work out there.
Thinking of where
having a few beers, smoking some cigarettes.
Exactly, where to get employed, where to be the first job, and so on. Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. So I have a statement for you. I want you to tell. It's an accounting statement. I want you to tell me if this is true. Yeah? A fine is a tax for doing wrong. A tax is a fine for doing well. Is that true?
You get a fine for doing something not well. That's clear.
So you get fined for doing it wrong.
For doing it wrong, yeah.
And then they call that a tax, yeah, a penalty tax.
It's a penalty tax, yeah. It's a penalty.
But if you're doing really well, then they tax you,
It's a different type of tax there.
It's a different type of fine.
Because the fine can be higher than the tax in some specific points. You can pay more in penalties and more in taxes or interest to a specific tax, then you will pay the tax at a specific point.
Really?
Yeah, because, for example, if you would pay tax correctly now, it will be, let's say, 100 euros. But if you will not pay it well and you didn't declare it well and you don't pay it now, and they come after
200.
Exactly after 3 or 4 years in a control and verify and see that you didn't declare it well then or didn't deduct well specific expenses, those 100 euros in 4 years can be 200 or 250. So you can double it or even make it more.
Guess it frees up a bit of cash flow in advance of that, though, no?
If you do so good return on investment to that money, then yeah.
I guess so, yeah. Actually, I guess in the West, I mean, you probably know more. I'm certain you probably know more about the accounting situation in the Western world, how it operates with the inland revenue over there. But from what I understand, even in New Zealand, it is your own responsibility to file taxes, file your own, rather than have your accountant do it once a month. And if you don't pay, then the government shut your bank account off.
That's an interesting thing because right now, in Romania, they implemented a lot of new regulations in which practically you declare everything mostly. So at the very end,
a good thing or a bad
thing? Yeah, it's a good thing because right now the fiscal authority knows everything of your company, right?
Yeah. Probably more than your average entrepreneur knows about his own company. He's like, oh, he's following you. Oh, he's cheating on his missus too. Oh, look at that. Yeah.
And at a specific point, you are declaring all your taxes, as you said, You go to government and I have to declare, and I have to declare, let's say, 100 euros. They come and tell you, I really 100 because
So you made 6.7 million.
Yes, it should be more.
100. And you're 6.69
They know.
on operational expenses.
They
Yeah.
know. Everything that's going through banks, everything that's going through all of the system, it's there, and they have access to it. They have even access to Revolut, because a lot of people thought that.
Yeah, because I can do it through Revolut because nobody would know.
Exactly, which is
Well, now Revolut's a bank.
exactly, and they know. And being a
In order
bank,
to become one, they have to submit.
exactly, they have specific regulations. So right there, you cannot really say that if I do my money through Revolut or other, they will not find out. They will find out at any point in which that money goes through a bank account. It's public. It's traceable.
Traceable all the way down. Yeah.
It's traceable.
Cash is king.
Doesn't matter. Yeah, at the very end, yes, that's true. At the very, if you look on, for example, countries in which the banking system is not very fortified there, like if you go to African countries,
Gander or something like
yes,
that.
exactly, where everything is cash. Everything is cash there. Of course, the tax evasion and evasion of the tax
Massively.
I mean, I go to Uganda like each 3 or 4 months there. I have also small business there, and I remember last time when I went there, I was reading in an article. They were like promoting it that, of course, for them it's a lot of fight to make people declare and get the taxes. And they were very happy that after 1 year of controls and so on and so forth, they managed that 40% of their economy was on white on the sense of taxes. Yes. So and the 60% still. I don't know if I can say black economy because they're a black nation, but the black economy.
Well, we understand. Yeah.
So looking on that, that is because of the cash. Everything is there is by cash. I mean, you don't really can pay with the card if you go to a restaurant. So no, they by cash.
Yes, and it's not traceable, I guess. And I guess also they're not issuing an invoice or a receipt for the money that you've spent to you, the client.
I mean,
The restaurant owner's having a great time.
Yeah. I remember a specific point when I wanted to pay by card. I was at the gas station.
Yeah, sorry, we don't accept cards here.
No, they accepted cards because I asked them, can I pay by card? They said, yes, of course you can. I put the gas in the car and went there. I went to pay by card. The lady didn't know how to operate the thing. And she told to the chief.
You can pay. No one knows how to use it, but it's there.
She said like that, 1 second, I'll bring my boss. The boss came and said, okay, you want to pay by card? Yes, sure. 1 minute. He went in the back. He came with the box. From the box, they took the POS reader, charged it, put the...
Dust it off, plugged it in.
I had the whole line behind me, a whole line of people waiting and like...
honking their horns trying to get the gas.
Putting the codes and so on. Yeah, you can pay. Beep, I paid, then back in the box, put it back in the shelf in the back.
Oh, no way.
The archives or I don't know where. That was
wow.
I think also their bank said, hey, they have a transactions to our bank. Amazing.
Why? Which was the first country in the world to actually use a POS machine?
That's an interesting topic. I think UK.
I have another guess.
US?
New Zealand.
New Zealand was the first one.
New Zealand was the very first country. They released what they called an FPOS.
Oh, my.
Electronic Financial Transaction Point of Sale. New Zealand, we were the guinea pigs.
Yeah, you are the first one.
Card sales. And now in New Zealand, when was the last time? 2 to 3 Christmas. You can almost not use cash. Nobody carries cash. No one carries cash. When I landed in New Zealand, I thought, I'll take some money out, just in case. Maybe living here too long, And it's like, really? Oh, man. To my nieces and my nephews, who are like 16, 17. It's like, wow, I haven't seen one of these. There's a $10 bill. I haven't seen a $10 bill.
That's it.
Exactly. It's like a tape cassette, I was like, oh, my God. They're like, wow, wow.
Money.
That's what money's like. Money, yeah.
We just saw figures on our phones. And so.
Exactly.
Interesting. I didn't know that, but I think it's normal to apply to an island, to try it on an island.
I guess that's what the British did when they put Australians on their island. We'll put them over there. We'll
see what happens.
Exile them over there to the hot sun.
Exactly.
Hopefully they'll burn. That'll be fine. Yeah. And that's basically how it went.
At the very end, cash and money in the bank should not be just equal, because it's hard to be equal in a civilized society like ours. And
It's hard to be equal in a civilized.
Civilized society, in the sense, all societies are civilized, not to say like that, but in the sense on which everything is on clear, everything is on invoice, everything is on a contract, everything is on white paper, everything. So when a country goes to that point, it's hard to have half of the money through the wiring banking system and have cash, because a lot of people, for easier purposes, will want to have through banks. But at the very end, you should have...
It is convenient. Tap the phone.
Yeah, you should have a proportion, I will say between 15% of the money to be cash. It's quite impossible in Western civilization.
Where would you put it? Under the mattress?
No.
As a chartered accountant, you're suggesting that you should keep 10% of your money under the mattress.
No, you should have cash money at the very end. Because look at...
Where would you keep the cash money?
Wherever you want.
Basically under the mattress.
Under the mattress, if you really like that.
So here we have it. I think we just caught him, a qualified accountant in 2024, telling us, keep cash, keep cash.
Like this.
What would you do with the cash?
I just wanted to ask something. At a specific point, the whole banking system gets hacked or something happens. Or you can shut down a lot of satellites and can block everything. And at a specific point, you go with your card.
That creates more than a recession.
An ATM, and you just want to withdraw money or to pay by card, and all of the amounts are zero to all of our accounts. What do you do then? Because all of your money was on your bank account. You have nothing cash, nothing. You just had money on the bank account, some digits on a screen, and you go and pay something.
So then wouldn't it make sense to keep 90% of your income in cash?
You should keep a specific amount of your income. You should have cash or valuables. You can have silver, you can have gold, you can have things like that can have a value. And at any specific point when something like this can happen, you have access to them. Because
do you keep 10% of your cash in your house?
I cannot say that. And I cannot, and I don't keep them in my house.
I cannot confirm nor deny.
I don't have them in my house.
We don't have them out, so you did. Where are you storing them?
In a vault. Yeah. The thing is, as I said, we rely so much on machinery and so much on computers and so on. And if that, because those machinery and computers, even if at the very end, you can just unplug them. You can unplug them. You don't have electricity right there. A lot of systems are not working. If they're not working, how you will buy a bread? How you will buy a beer? How you will buy anything?
Well, I guess this would lead to a lot of rioting, let's say, most likely, because people don't have the money and they're just going to rip down to the nearest carrefour, which is a business owned by someone or a company, and steal all the goods.
But if you have that money, you can leave before that.
If you have that money, you can leave before that. Where would you go?
Anywhere.
New Zealand?
New Zealand, it's an island. It's perfect.
Yeah, that's good.
New Zealand, I was looking at of bunkers are made in New Zealand and Australia because they are islands and they're very isolated and they are quite civilized.
They're very civilized.
Yeah, they are. So because of that, a lot of rich people done bunkers there.
Bunkers.
Bunkers,
I thought you said bankers.
Oh, bunkers.
Digging a few bunkers, you reckon? Yeah, I think the Americans probably have more than anyone else.
They most probably, yeah.
I think they're a bit more paranoid of,
yeah, they are paranoid. I mean,
Holocaust or
a lot of people
the end of the world or the next nuclear disaster. Which makes sense if you were from America. I'm assuming that would, there's enough propaganda flying around to, make you think that, I'm sure.
The alien invasions, everything are with the U.S. countries.
Yeah, Area 51.
They always are targeting New York or Washington or Los Angeles and so on. On all of the movies, if you look on them. But
actually, you're right. Yeah. Specifically New York.
Yeah.
And Los Angeles. Interesting.
Regarding that, I remember, on the tax recession on 2008, a lot of...
you mean when the recession came?
Yeah, the recession came. That's an interesting thing, but not a lot of people know about it because you can do it. Google, you can Google it and find it out. A lot of the money that helped float the economy and still keep it on a specific line was from drug money because they were cash and they were bringing cash in the system.
Yeah, and they were confiscating cash.
No, they were trying just to clean the cash, money laundering. Bringing that money in the system helped afloat a lot of the economy of the US and other countries. that's quite an interesting thing, coming back to cash. So practically something that's very bad or bad, money from drugs, that helped the economy at a specific point because it was cash. Nobody had cash. They were bringing cash and trying to launder it and make it clean. And they're
Spread it back into the economy.
a lot.
Hundreds
It's a
of
percentage
billions.
of their GDP from that.
It's
And they
drug
help.
money.
Yes. I mean,
Thank you, Pablo.
no, not other
And co.
industries made so much money. I mean, at the very okay. If you look on it, U.S. has a whole history of that, from taking drugs, paying money, and in the Nicaragua war and so on, war and so on, and all of those things. But that specific point, that cash helped the economy. That bad cash, let's say, or blood money. I don't know how to put it.
Drug money, blood money.
Blood money.
I think drug money in this case.
Help the economy at that specific point. So see how two-sided is everything. When everything is flourishing and so on, that money is bad. Nobody wants to touch
No one touches
it. When the
it. We need it. Let's go. Let's using it. No questions.
when the
Decision made. Boom. Like that.
the shit hits the fan. Yes, that's good money. It's money like everyone.
Speaking of shit hitting the fan, over the years, Romania has been, victim to a lot of, Ponzi schemes in the banking industry, this type of thing. The fall of communism, people come out, I don't know too many specifics. I'm 100% sure you know more than me, but I think, all these bad experiences, put a dollar in our bank and we'll match each dollar that you say, which clearly, makes no sense at all. I mean, at all. You withdraw, then that bank goes bankrupt or that institution folds immediately overnight. So but again, it was lack of financial education, let's say, which is justified based on the times. But even today in 2024, even my, younger colleagues that work for us and companies we have still don't trust the banks. My own partner doesn't trust the banks. Gets paid, goes down to the machine, rips the money out. Non-traceable, they don't know what I'm doing. I don't want people to know where I'm going. I have my money is my money, and I have my money. And it's also not under the mattress, in case you come looking. But, I know that, she keeps money lying around, a reasonable amount of money, Why do you think that even now, so late in the game, there's not so much trust in the banks?
In our country?
Romania, yeah.
Trust in the banks also because all of those so many downfalls of that specific period after the communist fell until present day, a lot of investment funds got broke or banks collapsed. And because of such, people don't really have so much appetite to have money in the bank or also do investments like a lot of Romanians do, for example, investments in Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies, Ethereum and so on. I don't want to make an advertisement to anyone. But not so much. I mean, only the persons from cities which have a higher education and know what to do. The rest prefer cash.
But I can do an instant transfer right now. I can do it instantly.
Yeah, you can.
While I sit here, I can send you the money right now, even after 5 o'clock, and you have the money.
You can do in most of the banks, not all of them.
Every major bank.
So not all of them have that instant transaction, but as I said, prefer a lot of people cash. And if you look, I was seeing a lot of videos in US in which, for example, if you want to buy a bottle of water at the gas station, they say if you pay it by card, it's let's say $1.95. If you pay it by cash, it's $1.85. So it's cheaper to buy it by cash than by transfer, by card, let's say. Paying by card.
But there's a lot of things. I mean, do you notice that there are a lot of things now that you can't buy with cash?
Yeah, a lot of things you cannot buy with cash because a lot of regulations they put in force from the beginning of this year in which you can hardly buy more than, let's say, 1,000 euros cash. Hardly can buy something. And they done that so they can have everything traceable and they can see everything that's happening. That's why. Gather more taxes, which is understandable. And the banks, of course, they were very happy because they have more money to see and more money to commission. At the very end, any payment that we do between us, it's commissioned with a specific percentage. So a payment gets from a lot of people going through, a lot of people, let's say, that tail of $10 becoming 10 and then 9.95, 8.99 and so on. If you pay more people in the same line, $10 paid from me to you, and you pay to a barber shop, and from the barber shop to a farmer, and from a farmer to
on it goes.
exactly
All the way down the line.
yeah, it's getting less and less and less because of those commissions. So that's also a reason why a specific amount of money should be also be in cash. At the very end, I mean, really, not saying that it should be all in cash or 70 or 80%. It's hard to make everything in cash because you cannot pay everything. It will not help the international trade or even national trade to be everything in cash. You cannot pay a supplier from Cluj or from Oradea right now here with cash. That's clear. But
So you'd have to send them Western Union if you. They even still do they still exist? I think they still do exist.
I believe they still exist, but they have less and
Very
less
few,
number
yeah.
of offices than they had, let's say, 20 years ago.
20 years ago, there was one every corner almost. Especially here, I remember that in
Yeah,
Romania.
because a lot of Romanians were leaving the country,
Abroad and
working
sending
abroad,
money
and sending money.
home.
That's a lot of money. I mean, there are billions of euros sent by Romanians to
Yes.
their parents or wives or daughters each year. Each year. That's a lot of money right there.
Sons miss out. Huh?
That's a lot of money right there. There's more money sent by Romanians working outside the country to Romania than any other sector of activity makes. So, for example, agriculture doesn't make so much money and so much taxes from that money, or industry or manufacturing. None of those industries make so much money and pay so much taxes as all of the monies are coming from Romanians abroad here in Romania. That's an interesting thing.
They're paying more tax.
They pay.
double.
They bring more money on the market. So look on for you to have a clear picture. No foreign company that came in Romania in the last 30 years made a bigger investment than the Romanians sending money each year to their parents or grandparents.
Families.
Yeah, exactly.
You're saying that more money is coming into Romania from Romanians living abroad, sent back to Romania, than corporate companies are investing in
100% sure.
Romania.
Look on any statistics.
This is year in, year out.
Year and year. No corporate company can make such a big investment to cover 1 year.
Really?
Yeah.
What is that number? Do you have any idea?
You can just Google it. It's a couple of billions. You can say how much money do Romanians send to Romania, and you will see billions each year. Billions of euros, yeah.
All right. Yeah, well, I guess most people don't know that.
Yeah, because, at the very end, you see, you look on corporate, and you look on high companies bringing investment, creating jobs, and so on. But those guys there, hardworking guys, they are sending so much money here, and they are trying their best to make this country better.
Make Romania great again.
Yeah, make Romania great again. They build houses, even if it's in a village, but they build a house, or they build a small motel or a small hotel, or they try to make a wine yard and so on. All of those things are with their money. Part of the economic growth of Romania is because of that.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess most of us wouldn't have probably noticed that or thought about that.
No, because you know why? It's not from one or two or three companies. Companies boost and make marketing out of it. They say, we invested in Romania 100 million euros this year. 100 million, that's a lot. But those guys said billions.
How many Romanians are living abroad, do you know? Kind of, any idea?
They should be something like 6 or 7 million, even more.
Really?
Yeah, there are a lot.
So that's a third of the Romanian population.
Normal, look, I read a study, something like 60 million Irish people live outside Ireland.
Say that again.
60 million people live outside
I think it's over
Ireland.
70
Or
actually.
70? See, 70 million people.
Yeah, but there's only how many on the whole island?
Not so many, of course.
Not that many.
Not that many.
Not that many
there are
left.
more Irish people living outside Ireland
Then
than
there are ours.
yeah.
You know, we have the same one of
I
those.
don't, more than 10 million, I don't believe they are there, or even less on the island.
We find out.
Yeah, with the population of Ireland. So I don't believe, I think max.
Population of Ireland.
How many?
Final guess.
We'll say 5.5.
Shit, that is so close. It's just under 5.1.
5.1 million, see?
Almost. It's 5.033.
and 7 million outside.
No. Is I think it's
70 or
I think 70,
70,
yeah.
70.
Like
70.
a lot. Oh, define one defined number, percentage population, very true. Hard. Percentage of
More, I'm sure.
Yeah.
More than those.
1 in 6 Irish people born and live abroad.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Because all of those
Only 5 million less.
made other Irish people. They got married, they had kids, more Irish.
That's mental. New Zealand has a very similar statistic with the Samoan community there. Yeah, so in New Zealand, there's this one city called Auckland. I'm sure you know it. A major city. I think it's actually the largest city in New Zealand. Christchurch and then Wellington, they kept. And in Auckland, New Zealand, there are more Samoans living in that one city than the whole country.
They love that city.
Well, yeah. Most New Zealanders would say Auckland is no longer part of New Zealand. It's a bit sad, really, but that's not. So before we let you go today, I want you to give us what's 3 quick tips you would fire off to any business owner to immediately improve their company from a financial point of view, aside from naturally needing to grow your revenues.
Aside from that, so
Because naturally, by default, if the more revenue you have, chances are you're going to cover your costs a bit better.
as I was saying regarding costs and same suppliers offering their clients different pricing. So just from that, you can negotiate and lower a little your expenses as much as possible. You can do that without hindering your efficiency from the suppliers or the product or the quality of the product or the service. So lower it as much as you can. Of course, increase your revenue or increase the revenue from the client, because you can find out from each client if they have additional needs that you can supply them. And if you can find that out, you can increase a little your revenue from that client. So not just sales, but also practically not investing in sales, but growing your own portfolio of clients as money. And then, of course, investing in sales and bringing other products and other clients and other projects and so on.
I want to remind you of something you taught me 9 years ago. 9 years ago, and I'll never forgot. And I've embedded it into my trainings when I'm helping salespeople. We're going to put it on the screen for you. And that is the number of customers multiplied by the average order value multiplied by the frequency of purchase. And these are the 3 things that you can change in order to grow your revenues. So either 1, because you charge everybody once a month, that's all you can do. So the frequency of purchase remains the same at 1. And the order value for the service, because you're a public company like Netflix, for example, it's only $11.99 or whatever it works out to be. So everyone's paying the same price. Fine, you might have 3 different stages of packaging. So in that case, what you need is more clients. Your company can only handle a capacity of X amount of clients. You still want to grow your revenues. You either increase the frequency at which they purchase or the average order value that they pay per month, per week, per day, per month. So this is the formula that you taught me, remember.
And when I said that, discover your client and bring additional products or services to it, exactly from that point. So make him buy more from you, just from you.
Exactly. Upsell, cross-sell.
That will be the best at the very end, because you already know the client, have the client, he knows you. You do not have to go from zero, from scratch, to for him to know you, to like you, to buy from you. He already knows you. So if he will have to choose...
And he knows you're cheating on your wife. He knows. He knows. He's looking after you. He's not telling you. Keeping that confidentiality clause nice and tight.
At the very end, yes. As accountants, always, always.
You guys are better than doctors, really, eh?
Yeah, you know more than the priest.
This is Romania, I don't know. Do they tell the priest so much anymore? I guess.
I think depends.
No, I have to say so. I have to, because you just reminded me. This is one of the most bizarre things as a foreigner, I think, that I've ever seen. Is you're going to church for some, I don't know, some occasion, whatever it may be, you know, and there's, you know, a woman who gets down on her knees and the priest puts his cloak, you know, over the, you know, she's right under there, and it's confession, I believe. No? Right there with his junk looking in the, that just didn't make any sense to me. I can't get my head around that. Whatever happened to the box and the privacy and the window and that, he doesn't even know who you are, just go and say 10 Hail Marys and a few Our Fathers and job done. But no, he gets right, you get right under his skin, under his robe, the whole lot.
Because it's due to the fact that Orthodox churches here in Romania are generally smaller than Catholic churches, which are quite huge.
What are you saying? There's no room for a box get under my dress, or what?
I think it was quite easier and simple doing like that than making boxes. I think that was the only reason that they done it.
I could understand if they were Catholic and the priest might have been celibate, but so it's a bit bizarre. Nonetheless, mate, I'd like to thank you for coming today. It was a pleasure to have you. All his details are going to be, well, not all his details, but his company information will be in the comments below, in the description below. If you're looking for a good local accountant, GP Tax, Adrian, he's the man. Give him a shout. He'll answer the phone every time. And after this, I think you'll know who'll look after you. Mate, it's been a pleasure.
Same here.
Pleasure. Thank you, mate.